What's going on, guys? Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. Well, actually, I'm right on time. 7 p.m. Can't beat that one. What's up, Jesse, Edward? Good evening, fellers. Super hot today in Spokane. So hopefully you guys will let me know if there's any issues. Give everybody a little bit to pop in the room. Tonight we're going to go through all of the basically A through Z on preparing for federal prison, from the time you get in trouble until that famous day of sentencing. Yes, that's what we're going to chat about today once we let everybody in the room. Hey, Harvey, Brian, what's going on, guys? Welcome. Can you guys hear me okay? I got the mic's not directly in front of my face. Maybe if I slide over this way, it's as far as the microphone reaches. Before we get started, today is my beautiful daughter's birthday, Caitlin Wise. She is 17 today. Oh my God. Maybe we'll try to call her and say happy birthday, because she has not answered all day long. So I'll shoot her a call. We'll put her on speakerphone and see if she answers the phone. And everybody can wish Caitlin happy birthday. But because she's 17, she probably won't answer the phone. That's what I'm halfway expecting. And it's dialing.
Please leave your message for 646-714-9165.
So we'll say happy birthday to her on, hey Caitlin, it's your father again calling to say happy birthday. I miss you and I love you. And oh yeah, we're doing this live on YouTube, giving you a happy birthday voicemail. So if you give me a call back within the next 45 minutes to an hour, I will answer the phone and everybody will say hi to you. All right, baby, I love you. Happy birthday. Embarrass her a little bit there. So anyway, that's that. It's my daughter's birthday, so we had to get that out of the way. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Dan, I missed the Todd update. Can you let us know again what you've heard? Sure, Brian. Todd's doing really well. He got there Friday, and he's at the same prison as Serge. So even though Todd wasn't set up in the system yet, Serge shot me an email and said he met Todd and they walked the track and he has a great attitude, and he's going to try to help him get a job as some kind of a cowboy. They have some kind of a cowboy job there at Lompoc. Not sure what a cowboy job is, but we will find out at some point. Hey, Kimberly, good evening. But yeah, so Todd's doing well. He actually sent me I got the Core Links invite today. So once I get his information, I will post it to all of you guys. So you have all of that. Hey, John, what's going on? So far, you guys haven't missed anything. We just called my daughter and gave her a happy birthday voicemail because today is her birthday. She's 17. So that's really all you missed. And I'm trying to stay cool. So I have some ice water because it's hot today. You just got back from the gym. That's why I'm running late. Taking a shower, putting on my makeup. Got to make sure I don't shine. I don't need anybody posting those stupid comments again telling me I look like I rubbed my forehead in a pan of bacon grease. Hurting RDAP's feelings left and right. All right. So we're going to jump into this. We got enough people in the room to go ahead and get started. This is probably going to be a shorter video tonight. I got some things to do, so we're going to talk about these topics and then we're going to move right along. So some of this, you guys have already gone through it, but some of you are just getting into trouble. You might be checking this video out for the first time. So I want to make sure you guys are getting some valid information, some resources to try to help you moving forward. So if you're getting in trouble and you got indicted or you're going to get indicted and you think you might be facing federal prison, or even if you don't think you're going to face it, if you think it's even a possibility that you might even be facing federal probation, this all still applies. All right. So this is all prior to going to prison, what we're going to talk about today. So the first thing that is probably one of the most important things early on when you're first getting in trouble is accepting the reality that you might actually be going to federal prison. I know a lot of us kind of sit in the land of denial, and it's easy to stay in denial when you first get in trouble because you've got friends and family that are telling you you're a good guy, you're not going to go to prison, the judge is going to see that you're a good person, the prosecutor is going to see that you're a good person, and they're not going to send you to prison. As much as we all want that to be true, most of us that are getting indicted federally, and if it's for something halfway serious, there's a high probability that you might be facing a federal prison sentence. So once you can accept that, it's easier to digest and actually start looking forward at what's next. Those of you that are living in the land of denial, that are finding ways to beat the system, trying to skirt it, trying to cheat it, and we're going to talk about that at the end of the video because I had a weird text the other day and I just had to kind of ignore it because it's not what I am designed to do. It's not how I'm designed to help you. So we'll talk about that. Stay tuned to the end of this video because I am going to talk about what I don't want to do if somebody wants to retain and hire me. I'm going to tell you what I can't help you with because it's important for you to know that. All right, so the second thing you really need to do is you need to understand the journey ahead. You need to make sure that you're okay with certain things being out of your control. You can't control everything. For some of us, what's going on, Elgardo? For some of us that have been control freaks, we're always used to driving, we're always used to, being the one to make all the decisions. You got to realize when you're getting in bed with the feds, that should be the name of the book, Getting in Bed with the Feds. Maybe that would be my book. When you're getting in bed with the feds, you got to realize that a lot of things are out of your control because you're kept in the dark. As you move forward, you're given a little bit more information and it reveals itself as it goes. So you have to realize that certain things are going to be out of your control. And you have to be okay with that. You got to let your ego go. You got to realize that there's nothing you can do about certain things. So you've got to go with the flow and you got to do what you can do. So it's really important to make sure that you understand to just let things go that are out of your control and whatever's going to happen is going to happen, right? Only thing you can do is whatever's going to happen, you can decide how you react and what you choose to do next. That's where your choices come in. Jay Tabor. Hello. Jay Tabor, shout out to Jay Tabor. I guess I'm your boy. Maybe I know you somehow. Maybe I know you under a different name. You got to let me know. But anyway, Jay Tabor, welcome to the channel. Shout out to you. So the next thing that's really important. So going into kind of the third phase of this, once you've accepted the fact that you might be going to prison, you've accepted the fact that certain things are going to be out of your control, and you're kind of all right, how do I work this process? How do I go forward? The next thing you really need to know who the key players are in the game. So who are the key players when you're getting ready to go to federal prison? Okay, so you've got the judge, you've got the prosecutor, you've got U.S. probation, you've got your pretrial probation officer, you have your attorney, and you have you. So you need to realize what all of their roles are and what all of their objectives are, right? So let's start with the judge all the way, and I've done a video on this before, all the way at the top tier. What is the judge's role and motivation? Okay, the judge's role and motivation is he's seen it all, he's heard it all. They're not big on being super lenient. Once in a while, if you work really hard, you can see a judge pull some magic. But for the most part, judges they're ex-prosecutors. They work their way up. and they have to maintain, all of a sudden if a judge goes rogue and starts, all of a sudden grows a conscience, that's going to look bad for other judges. So they have their little clique and they maintain some sort of level of regular sentencing to some extent. So you've got the judge who's not really looking to give you any favors. You've got the prosecutor who is probably either one day hoping to become a judge or hoping to get some kind of a big payout where he can go become an attorney with a large firm by stacking up as many people under his belt as possible. When I say stacking up, sentencing people to prison. If all of a sudden you get some soft U.S. prosecutor, a U.S. attorney that goes soft and starts, I want to give this guy probation and let's drop this and we're not going to go after this, it's just not likely to happen because that's not a good career move for them. So they're not looking at you as, Dan Wise is a human being. Let's look at him as a human being. Let's connect with him. No. Dan Wise committed a crime. How much of this shit can we stick on him and how much time can we put him in prison? We need to add more to our stats and incarcerate even more people. Even though they won't come out and say that, end of the day, they're trying to move forward, and they can't move forward if they're going easy on everybody. That's just going to piss the system off, and they're probably not going to be a U.S. prosecutor for very long. Okay, so now we know that. You got to know who the key players are, and once you know who they are and what their role is, you can start to wrap your mind around, okay, I got to stop thinking the judge is going to go easy on me because deep down inside I'm a nice guy and the judge is going to see that. No, prosecutor is not going to. It's not that they don't see that. They don't want to see that. They don't care to see that. They just want to focus on anything negative in your situation. Okay, so once you can comprehend that and you swallow that, all these things go hand in hand. Accepting that you're going to prison, accepting that certain things are going to be out of your control, accepting that the judge, prosecutor, you've got the U.S. probation officer that's going to do your PSR. Their job is to prepare paperwork for the judge. Even though they're supposed to be non-biased and they're supposed to be third party, just presenting the information they got, most of the time I've read some PSRs that are like, man, sounds like this U.S. probation officer is trying to make sure this guy goes to prison for X amount of time. So things are not, let's put it this way, it's not stacked in your favor normally. These are all additional hurdles that you have to be able to get through. And these are all slightly out of your control to some extent, but not completely. And we're going to talk about that a little bit too. So then you've got your attorney. Your attorney is supposed to be representing you, is supposed to have your best interest at heart. And a lot of the times we all see that sometimes that's not the case. We've got attorneys that are pushing pleas. We've got attorneys that are pushing us to cooperate. We've got attorneys that are pushing us to 5K1s. We've got attorneys that are pushing us to Rule 35s. And that's all okay because they're trying to get you a reduced sentence. However, a lot of the times they leave out what the potential consequences of 5K1s, Rule 35s, what all of that could mean for you later on. A Rule 35, that's different than a 5K1. Usually Rule 35 is you're bringing them information on people that they don't have yet. It's not necessarily people that are in your indictment. It's not people that you're wrapped up with. It might be some guy down, a block over or a state away that is involved in some serious criminal activity. And in order to potentially, no guarantees, in order to potentially get a reduced sentence, you bring them as much information on this person as possible. And if they're able to get an indictment, prosecute, find him guilty, sentence him, then at that point, once he's been found guilty, they'll consider giving you a reduced sentence. In a lot of cases, you guys have seen how long your own situations can take before you're actually found guilty. Several months to a couple of years is very common. And if your sentence potentially is only going to be a couple of years, you face giving them all of this information and finishing your sentence before your Rule 35 can even kick in. So if you've got more questions or more concerns about potential Rule 35s, definitely feel free to text me or call me, 509-434-4695. My phone number is up in the screen. It's important for you to know these things. So your attorney, even though he has your best interest, he's also trying to move up the chain as well and trying to just, he's got multiple clients, so he's not putting a whole lot of thought and concern into you specifically, not connecting you with you on a human basis. He doesn't care that you're going to prison for the most part, knows you're going. So because of this detaching of human emotion and human connection, you become just a number. And the quicker he can get you to plea out or move on, he can move on to his next case and collect more money. It's a big money game, which we can all see. Clearly we put ourselves in a situation, but that doesn't mean you need to go into the situation blind and put blind trust in everybody. Those of you that are asking questions, I promise I'll go back and read the questions, or try to save some questions till I'm finished, because it's hard to go back and forth watching the questions and talking about what we're talking about. So your attorney hopefully has your best interest and hopefully is truly demonstrating that. One of the benefits of using a prison consultant, a prison coach, using RDAP Dan, YouTube's #1 favorite prison consultant. Yeah, I said it and it's true. One of the benefits of hiring somebody like me is not only are we going to help you with, the basics, your letters, your personal narratives, character reference, RDAP, PSR prep, additional halfway house, all that stuff. We're going to help you learn that you're going to be the one that needs to put in the time and effort, and you're going to start generating questions and learning a little bit more about the system. And when you start understanding a little bit more, that's going to make you that much more educated when you're dealing with your attorney. Now, you might see your attorney get a little frustrated and pissed off because you're asking questions, but that's okay. That just means that your attorney is now being required to work a little bit harder. And if everybody dealt with the attorney like that, guess what? We would have better attorneys, because they would get accustomed to clients that have questions. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, guys. If you're the one squeaking to your attorney every Monday, blowing him up, wanting to know answers, getting aggravated when he doesn't respond, threatening things like going on AVO and filing complaints, going on the board of attorneys, the bar association of attorneys, and filing complaints there, because it is your attorney's job to answer your questions. He can't just leave you hanging when you email him. To give you a call back or an email back 3 days later is unacceptable, because during that time period, you're freaking out. And those 3 days feels like 3 weeks, 3 years. So it's real important that you feel confident and okay bugging your attorney. Do not feel like you're bothering him, because that's what he's getting paid for. Whether you paid him or he's federally appointed, he's getting paid to handle this. So make him work for his or her money. That's super important. Okay, so we've got the players in the game, right? We've got the judge, prosecutor, U.S. probation, your pretrial probation. You got your attorney. The last major player in this game is you. You are a huge player in this game, because what you do or don't do dictates a lot of the outcome, guys. It dictates so much of the outcome. And it's easy for us to go, okay, here's money for an attorney. I'm just going to trust him that he's going to do his thing. You're taking a big gamble, because you don't know what's going to happen. In anything, when you hire anybody, you hire the wrong accountant, you hire the wrong attorney, you hire the wrong doctor. Oh man, he messed up my mouth, he messed up my taxes. Your girlfriend got a boob job and her boobs got messed up because it was the wrong doctor. The wrong attorney and putting all of your blind faith and not paying attention to what's going on can lead you to a potentially lengthier prison sentence, guys, or even not just a longer prison sentence, but in a harsher place. You might miss out on programs that you're available for because your attorney didn't educate you on this. So don't blame your attorney when shit goes south. If you're watching these videos early enough on, I'm giving you the insight right now, and I'm giving you the read between the lines that you have to take an interest in your situation. You are a major player in this game, bigger than anybody else, because you are the one that can change the waves. You can change the current on how the flow of things go. Just by asking questions and putting homework and research in, that little ripple effect can scatter through the entire journey and make a difference. So engage. Sounds like some kind of a Voltron thing, right? All right. So after you understand this, okay, you know all these steps that we've gone over. You've identified it. You've related to it. You make sense. You're comprehending it. You're not just reading it. You're like, all right, I get it. I understand. The next thing you really want to focus on is building your roadmap to success, okay? Success doesn't mean no jail time. Success could mean, like to Todd Hansen, success meant not getting 17 and a half years and getting a 9-year sentence. That was success to him. So success, to each to their own, could be a little bit different, okay? So let's talk about the roadmap to success. In order to do this, you need to know what you do have control over, right? Are you prepared for your PSR? Are you prepared for your RDAP preparation? Are you prepared with your character reference and personal narrative letters? Have you prepared for all of these things? And preparing for them doesn't just mean, yeah, I wrote a personal narrative. Do you actually know what's supposed to go in a personal narrative? Do you know what a good personal narrative versus a bad personal narrative looks like? Have you put your mind out there and tried to take your situation out of it and just be a third-party viewer and ask yourself, what does the average person's personal narrative and character reference letters look like? Do they look like what I'm writing right now? If your letter probably looks like everybody else's letter, that's probably a bad thing. And how do you know? Okay, you got to remember, we've already determined up front, you got to remember what you've learned so far. You've learned that the judge is not going to react on emotion. He's not going to feel guilty for you. What does that mean? So if the judge isn't going to react with emotion, he's not going to feel guilty for you when you start talking about your kids, your sick parents, your dying dog, your medical issues, you're addicted to this, you're whatever it is, you're addicted to trees, you're addicted to green grass, you're addicted to handcuffs, you're addicted to prison cells. He's not going to care. None of that is going to matter because he's heard it all before. So what he assumes is you're just backed into a corner and you're making up bullshit. He doesn't believe any of it. Even if it might be true, they're not going to believe it, and it's not going to sway them on their decision. If anything, if you start saying how this is going to be really hard on your kids and your kids are so used to being with you and this is, Your Honor, can you please find an alternative like probation or something different? His reaction is or her reaction is almost going to be the same every time. And Dan, you should have thought about that before you fucked up and committed the crime. That's going to be their answer to that. So, how do you connect with the judge and come off different in a way that he's not or she's not used to seeing and reading these personal narratives and character reference letters? We've put a lot of time, a lot of resource, a lot of studying. We've dealt with other prison consultants. We've looked at what they're doing. Look, I'm not out here to reinvent the wheel. If I find something that works well, you could say what you want. Oh, Dan stole my idea or whatever. But hey, if it works, I want to share that with everybody, right? So going in there, and obviously, we talked about being accountable, taking, responsibility for your actions. All of that is easier said than done. And even though the clients that I actually have that have paid me, and when we start telling them what to put into their personal narrative, we start giving them some guidelines, some direction. When they're finished with it and when it comes back to us, it has all of this stuff in there of taking responsibility and they're sorry and this and that. But in the end, it always says, please, Your Honor, can you go easy on me? I deserve a second chance. I would love a second chance. Is there any way in your heart you can find a way to give us? It's like, for some reason, everybody, including myself, when I went through this myself, that last minute we go into begging because we're afraid if we don't ask, we're not going to get that, even though the judge has read that a million other times. So when you're writing these narratives and character reference letters, and look, what my job is when it comes to the personal narrative and the character reference letters is there are prison consultants out there that will write your shit for you. They'll ask you some questions and they'll make up your whole personal narrative. They'll make up your character reference letters. And to me, that's unethical. It's dangerous because if the attorney does, or if the judge does question you on any of this stuff, and it's not stuff that it backfires and you end up getting a worse sentence than you could have gotten because now he thinks that you just went and hired some writer to ghostwrite your personal narrative. Stay away from that. What we do for you is we give you outlines, guidelines to stick to. You're going to write your own personal narrative. We're going to make you bust your ass. That's the thing is don't expect to sit in the passenger seat. I'm putting you into the driver's seat and we're going to teach you how to drive stick the right way. You're going to send your personal narrative and character reference letter to us. We're going to make recommendations and edits. But if you don't give us something to work with, we're going to tell you to redo it. That's why the sooner you come on board, the better, because it gives us time to work with you, to get into your head, to get you out of whatever wrong mentality you're in now, to start creating new habits, to get you onto the right path. It's important for you to know what we're doing, because if you don't, it doesn't mean anything, and the judge is going to see right through all of that shit, and so will the prosecutor, and so will the U.S. probation officer that's doing your PSR. So we guide you. We need you to work. We help you. We make edits and recommendations, so the final product is flawless, but it's your flawless masterpiece. We helped you bring out the best out of you, and then we go in there and critique it, edit it, make the recommendations, make the edits, make sure it's formatted properly. I have some of the best writers in the industry. I have a grant writer that's on staff with us that specializes in writing letters to probation, prosecutors, sentencing, additional halfway house. We have some of the top people out here doing it. I really don't think anybody out here has a better team of people doing what we do. That's just my preference, and I've read other people's work, and I really don't think anybody comes near to what we do, because what we do is original. We don't use templates. It's legit. It's original, and most of it's coming from you. It's awaken the giant within. It's all Tony Robbins shit, man. Gotta love that stuff. All right, so that's all super important. Now, after you built your roadmap to success and you understand how all the pieces work, you understand the dynamics, you understand the judge, and you understand where their mindset is. Once you can get into their mind, you can now dictate through this. So once you've gotten to that point, now we start building a mentor network, right? And all this kind of happens at the same time. This is all, it's not like it's going to take weeks and weeks to get to this point. This is all stuff that happens. It's like the matrix lays out to you. Once you see it for what it is, you can navigate, and it reduces anxiety. So building a mentor network for the purpose of holding yourself accountable. That's the purpose of a mentor network. Now, your mentor network can be, I gave some examples here. It can be your probation officer, your attorney, professors. It can be me. It can be somebody, your wife. It can be somebody that you tell what's going on. And you say, hey, I need you to hold me accountable. If I don't give you my weekly report, and these need to be weekly, guys. These mentor network basically updates, progress reports, whatever you want to call them, needs to be weekly. We have templates that we've made up for you guys to use to kind of help you get into the routine. We've got samples for you guys to look at so you can see what's worked for them. I've got Todd Hansen. We've got all kinds of tools that you guys can benefit from, but it's important that you do this, because what it's doing is it's creating a track record. And once you realize that it's holding you accountable, because if you don't do it, you're going to think about, well, shit, this could make a difference. Your U.S. probation officer or your pretrial probation officer gets an email from you once a week, regardless if he ever looks at it or not. He keeps seeing an email from Dan Wise every Monday. Dan Wise every Monday. And what's in that? Your information there. What are we putting in there? You're putting all the stuff that you've done from the last week. Any community service you did, what you did, how many hours you worked, who your mentors are. If you went out and you went and spoke at, maybe you found a local school or a local college or a local church to go talk to youth and people that are maybe getting in and out of trouble, but they're still underage, and you're trying to give back to the community. You're logging all of this stuff week in, week out, week in, week out. Even if you're not getting any kind of credit for it, just the fact that you have it, that you did it, and you're sending this off to everybody in your mentor network once a week. You're just CCing everybody right through your email. These make a difference, because worst case scenario, it's keeping you busy with action-based positivity and moving forward. Your whole situation is based on you staying positive and action-based. So building a strong mentor network doesn't have to be huge. It can be just a couple of people. And you always want to include your attorney, your probation officer. You always include me if you want to. And if I know I'm supposed to be getting one from you, I put it in my reminder. And if I don't see it, you're going to get an email from me saying, hey, asshole, where is this? You're not doing this for me. You're doing this for you. So, you can't ask for help if you're not willing to work for yourself. Don't ask somebody else to do what you're not willing to do, right? All right, other things. Keep a job. Maintain your job, show up on work on time, don't miss days, don't have sick days. Show up to work every day just as if you weren't going to prison. Do not miss a day. If you got fired from your job because of maybe your crime's related to the job and you had to get fired, go get a different job. I don't care what it is, go get a different job as fast as you can and show that you're working. Put in community service. If you're not doing community service, go find a place. I don't want to hear, I can't find anywhere. Go everywhere, guys. Go to your church. Go to a church. If you don't have a church, go to some church and ask, is there anything you can do? Can I come on the weekends and hold the door when you guys have, night church or whatever the churches are doing? Soup kitchens. Somewhere will allow you to go volunteer. Salvation Army. All these places take almost, I mean, I'm doing my community service at the Goodwill. Go to the Goodwill. You can do community service there. You guys can do it if you actually want to. If you don't want to, you're going to make excuses. Well, you're going to get those results. A shitty sentence. Learning tools to deal with like the unknown, anxiety, sleepless nights. This comes with research. So if you're finding yourself freaking out, you're riddled with anxiety, you're not sleeping at night, I'm telling you, if you start doing this process on what we make sure that our clients are trying to, I can't make my clients do it, but if my clients are doing this process, I can assure you all of your unknown certainties, your anxiety, your sleepless nights, it is reducing. Now, nothing is going to get rid of it. There's no cure. But now you're going to have tools. You're going to have people to call. You're going to have books to read. You're going to have tasks you're supposed to be doing. These are all things that are keeping your mind busy with positivity and action-based, guys. This is the success the recipe to success that will make a difference. The judge will see these things. It's not just going to be a fancy letter with nothing backing it up. A fancy letter with community service, action-based, maintaining a job, being positive, sending emails to your attorney, to your probation officer, to whoever else is in your mentor network every week. This stuff moves up the chain and it makes a difference. Having a personal narrative that's properly written, having character reference letters that are properly written, knowing what needs to be said during a PSR interview in order to qualify for RDAP. All of this stuff, if you don't put effort and time into it now, it's going to be too late when you realize that you missed something, you didn't say something, you said too much, you didn't say enough, your attorney didn't tell you this, you didn't know to ask your attorney this. You're going to have a million reasons why shit goes wrong, and you have a million excuses to blame everybody else. It's time to take full ownership of the shitstorm you're in. Identify your victims. We've talked about your victims in the past. Some of you have, in your mind, victimless crimes. But you got to realize that victims come in all shapes and sizes. Your family, your kids, your brothers, your mothers, your animals. All of these people that are going through this with you, they're your victims, because I don't care who you are, unless you're somebody that's in and out of prison your entire life and your family is just like, oh, he's going to prison again. If this is your first time going to prison and really getting in trouble, this is probably not easy on your family, especially if you've got a mother, a father, a wife, a son, a daughter. If you got young kids, this is not easy on them. So don't sit there and be a little baby and bitch in the corner and gloat and tell everybody how rough this is on you, because it's just as rough on them. Own up. You're the one that screwed up. I'm the one that screwed up. Nobody put me in my situation other than me. I made some shitty decisions, rationalizing it, thinking it wasn't a big deal. And the end of the day, it was a very big deal, and it altered my life forever. Just today, guys. Okay, you guys see me. I'm on here. I'm doing my RDAP thing. I'm talking to you guys at least 3 days a week. I'm loving what I do. I enjoy my life. But look, the shit has not left my mind. I still have, call it PTS or PTSD, whatever it's called. Like today, we had a random knock on the door, and me and Shelly both froze. Like, who's that? Who's knocking on the door? We're not expecting anybody. Literally creeping up to the door, peeking through the eye hole. And there's a small part of me picturing to see somebody I don't want to see, whether it be U.S. Marshals or, my probation officer sneaking over. Not that I have any reason at all to worry about any of that stuff, but that's something that's going to be with me for the rest of my life, because that brings back a memory of the day when they came. We've all been through that. The day that they came is a day to remember. And we've all maybe glorified it or made the story a little crazier than it was. It's like they came with the SWAT team and they ran down my door with a tank. And, they came in shooting M16s. I mean, it's real, though. They come in guns blazing, right? They come in, look like they're getting ready to look for El Chapo or some craziness. So I had that flashback today, and I was like, I got to make sure I talk about that in my video, because it terrified me for a moment. And I don't like that I have to feel like that. And hopefully someday it will go away. But I don't know how to make it go away, because it's an instant reaction to get afraid when somebody knocks at my door. And it was a lady selling car insurance. She was asking if we would consider switching our car insurance to her. So I felt like saying, bitch, I'm just got out of the feds. Don't do that. You almost made me jump out my balcony. So I get the fear and the anxiety because I'm out of it, and I still have fear and anxiety about going back to prison. And I'm not doing anything that could possibly lead me back to prison. So every day is a struggle, but the struggle gets easier. The consequences start to diminish, but it's always going to be a part of who you are because you're going through something that not everybody gets to go through, guys. And that's why you have to make the best out of this experience you can, because if you don't make a good experience out of it, what's the opposite of a good experience? A bad experience. And what comes with bad experiences? Who knows? Getting in trouble in prison, losing good time, getting kicked out of RDAP, getting in trouble in the halfway house, violating your probation because you made a stupid decision to smoke some weed thinking it's no big deal, or, crossing state lines thinking it was no big deal. These are all of the issues that come from seemingly unimportant decisions, guys. When you can't really control your choices and think about the consequences of your actions, bad stuff can happen. It just can. And it's not just a myth. I see it happen every day. I talk to people that are still in my halfway house. So many guys that I was in the halfway house are back in prison right now. And not just for little violations, gun charges, drug charges, like things that they're probably going to get another 10, 15, 20 years. Some of these guys might get life. Some of these guys were already career criminals when they got back in trouble. So seeing that stuff scares the shit out of me, because any one of us could get caught back up not realizing if we're not really paying attention. So stay on your P's and Q's, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so that's what I got for that. Now, I'm your guy. Everything that we just talked about today is all embedded into the services that we offer. You get all of that. It's not like, oh, for this price, we're going to do this, or for this price. Look, if you become a client, that's what you get, okay? Doesn't matter. Whatever price we agreed on, you're getting that. Whether you paid me $3 or $3 million, those are the services you're getting, guys. Because this is what makes a difference. And if I'm out here claiming that I'm trying to help people and I'm not doing anything to help you guys other than take your money and put out some cheesy letters and then not returning your phone calls, not returning your emails, not returning your text messages, I'm not really offering you guys a service that's going to be memorable. You guys aren't going to talk good about me. You guys aren't going to say good things about me in prison. My reputation is going to get beat up on, and I don't want that. I really don't. I like how I sleep at night. I like reading the emails. I read so many emails from you guys. I wish I should start keeping track of those and posting them up here, because I can't even begin to tell you like the effect that it has. Like, it brings me to tears a lot of the times to read these emails from people that don't even know me, that haven't hired me, that know nothing about me, just telling me because of your videos I didn't commit suicide. It's like, that's a fucking strong statement, and it kind of like makes me a little bit worried. Like, man, I've got some severe responsibilities out there because people are considering committing suicide, and RDAP Dan might be the difference. So there's days I don't feel like doing this. This is what I do for a living now, right? And there's days I'm running late. I'm like, oh shit, I got to get home. I got to get cleaned up. I got to make sure everything's ready. I got to restart the internet because Comcast sucks, right? So I got to do all of these things to make sure that I'm ready to show up for you guys. But after every video, when I walk out of my bedroom, or I walk out of here and I go into my bedroom, or I go in the living room, I feel like $1 million. I feel like, man, that was great. Shelly's like, how'd the video go? I was like, oh, it's fucking awesome. Everyone in the room was asking questions. They're engaged. I mean, this is why I do what I do. It's because of you guys. And I have nothing but respect for every single one of you. Even the idiots out there that post the dumb comments that are watching my videos. I even love you guys. Kill them with kindness. All right, so let's read some stuff. So somebody asked me about Joe from After Prison Show. I missed that one. Edward said, have Joe from After Prison Show give me a tattoo. That'd be awesome, and I would definitely be down with that, but me and Joe live quite a distance apart, so that's going to be a rough one, but who knows? Who knows where the world will take us, right? But Jay Tabor. Oh, you watch After Prison Show. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, look, Joe's the real deal. He did time too. Our channels are different. My channels are more preparing people for prison. He touches base on that. He's definitely got some awesome content, entertainment value for sure. And I know he's interested in trying to reach out to the other side of the community of who he can give back to and how he can help people better prepare and coming home or going in. Either way, it's a two-way street, right? You got to come out someday. So preparing for that re-entry is just as important. The reason why I don't focus a whole lot on re-entry is because there really is a lot of re-entry services out there. There's really no pre-sentence services that really exist on like a scale. You might have some stuff done by U.S. probation, but it's not huge. What's up, McLovin? So what I wanted to say, I told you guys earlier. So here's what I don't do. Okay, guys, if you hire me and then start emailing me questions about like if you get caught smoking weed, are you going to get in trouble? If I'm your prison consultant, I'm not going to engage in a conversation going back and forth with you about the things that you're doing illegal while you're on. Look, the whole goal of using me is to get your mind in the right space. If you're still going to sit there and go down a path where you're making poor decisions, you can't stop smoking weed for whatever reason, and you're on a piss test system. A lot of you that are on pretrial probation are on a color system where you have to call what's called the color line. Every day you got to call, and if it's your color, you got to go down to U.S. probation at some point that day before the day's over and give a UA. You got to go give a urine sample. And if you're sitting here, doing stuff you're not supposed to do, you're kind of defeating everything that we might be trying to do together. So it's real hard to be the prison consultant that I want to be if I have to spend time having that conversation. It's like, Jesus, you're trying to minimize the casualty. If you get caught smoking weed, doesn't mean you're going to go to prison right away. Doesn't mean they're going to violate you, but it sure is not going to help you the day of sentencing. It's going to show that you're not willing, that you haven't learned anything yet. So maybe a harsher prison sentence is what you need. That's the type of mentality that the judge may or may not have. So we don't even want to leave that to chance. We don't want to give that little bit of leeway to the judge to go, well, I see you're doing all these probation. I see you're doing all this community service and you've got your mentor network and your letters are great, but why'd you smoke weed if you know we're going to check you? That doesn't seem like you're really thinking it through, and that makes me think that everything else you're doing is just bullshit. So you don't want to give the judge, the prosecutor, a reason to jab you with a hot poker. It's no fun. Stay away from the hot pokers. So for those of you that are deciding to continue to make bad choices while you're on pretrial probation, and look, somebody wants to smoke weed, they're in a state where it's legal, man, do what you want to do. I'm not here to judge, but if you're on federal pretrial probation, you're not allowed to smoke weed. I don't care if you're in Washington, Colorado, Florida, you're not allowed to do it. So why risk it? It's not worth the potential consequence for that moment. Don't tell me you're an addicted and you can't stop smoking weed. Yeah, you can. You can do it. You just got to have some willpower, my friend. A little bit of willpower goes a long way. Good night, Jay Tabor. Thank you for popping in the room, my man, and feel free to text me anytime. I'm glad you joined us. And that's pretty much, that's what I got for tonight, guys. I'm going to try to call my daughter here a little bit more because it's almost 11 o'clock where she's at. So we've been rolling now for 43 minutes. I think that's a long enough video. For those of you that have not already texted the word YouTube to 35074, that will put you on my notification list. You'll receive updates of videos, things like that. Also, I should have it on the screen. I don't know why I don't. But if you text the word RDAP, RDAP, to the same phone number, we have a promotion going on right now. It's a very limited time. I have a sponsor that is picking up a portion of the cost for everybody that comes through that promotion. The only way I can offer you that promotion is if you text the word RDAP, RDAP to 35074, and the price is reduced from $1,500 to $695. I don't know how long the sponsor is going to pick this up for, so he's picking up a portion of it. I'm picking up a portion of it. The reason we're doing this, guys, isn't because I'm like, oh, there's people out there that can't afford $1,500. Look, if you really want the help, everybody can find $1,500, even if you go on a payment plan. The reason why we're doing it is because there's prison consultants and coaches out there that are taking advantage of people, and they're charging, $5, $7, $10, $15,000 for the same services. And I shouldn't say the same services, for less. Those of you that have spoken to other prison consultants, they are doing less. They may have a fascinating sales pitch and a flashy ass website, but at the end of the day, you're getting a fucking bottle of snake oil, and I think most of you know it. So their mindset is, let's attack the white collar criminal who was big money, making big money, getting in trouble because they can afford $15,000 or $10,000, and they're used to spending $100,000 plus on legal fees. So this is a drop in the bucket to them. It's a sales tactic. It's slimy. It's scaly. You got to dodge that the best you can. And the only way I can help you guys is by making it almost a retarded decision for you to go anywhere else other than to me. And what will happen eventually is those other prison consultants out there that do have valid, helpful information, they're going to make it more available to you guys because they have no choice if they want to stay in business. So we're trying to saturate the market with a lower price to make it better for everybody, because you can make a living at this, and you don't have to rob people blind to do it. And also, by doing that, you're making this program not available to everybody else that needs it, because they clearly don't have the $10,000, $15,000 to give you. So you're telling them to go pound dirt or go watch a video when they need the same service, they need the same help, because they're the ones that potentially are going to commit suicide because they think there's no hope for them, and they don't know where they're going. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing Monday. I can't thank you guys enough. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. What is RDAP Dan going to do? Guess what I found out? When I get 1,000 subscribers, you guys are actually allowed to send me tips and donations right through the live chat. How fucking cool is that? So, not that I expect it. It would be awesome. But I think that's a pretty cool feature that once you get to 1,000, I'm also stoked that I can do the live shows from my cell phone once I get to 1,000. So when I'm running late and I'm out in the car or I'm out walking, I don't want to come home right away, man, we can chat as long as I got internet connection. So it's all good. John Goff got $1. What? I will take that $1, John, and I will put it in the bank. Now, anything, and I can tell you this, in the future when that's available on here, anything that comes through as donation-wise on here, and I've done this in the past, people send me donations through my website, through my YouTube channel. There's a link somewhere on my YouTube page where it says donate now or whatever through PayPal. All donations, they go to people that can't afford the service. I don't have the ability to say no to somebody. I might have to tell them, hey, there's limited work what we can do. But when somebody gives money, we use it for that, because that's the whole idea. Community's method, people helping people. Round and round we go. RDAP Dan, the rodeo. All right, guys. I've talked enough. I'm tired. You guys rock. I love every single one of you. Like, subscribe, share. Tell the world about what we're doing. Go tell Joe, hey, man, Dan's awesome. He talked about you tonight. So I look fucking shiny still because that light is a damn sauna light on my forehead. Pay it forward. There you go. All right, guys. Have a great night. I will see you guys, what's today, Monday? I'll see you guys Wednesday, same time, same place, same channel, different topic. Don't know what we'll talk about yet. Maybe we'll talk about prison wives. I had a great conversation today with Shannon from, Shannon, she's got the Prison Wives channel. But anyway, had a great talk with her. I'd like to share some of that information with you guys. Until then, stay real, know what your roles are, and stay on top of your shit. RDAP Dan. Peace.